Hey, Soul Dancer the White Dragon here. I just realized I put on my top back to front and wrong side. So I had to do something, right? So I changed the color. Listen, people, I was listening to a morning talk by Master Ko, my virtual teacher, my latest teacher. And he spoke about something that I want to share with you. You see, we are locked in a prison. We have the key. The problem is we don't use it. That prison is resentment and anger. I lived in that prison for decades. Because you see, as a 3-year-old, I was anally raped by one of my mother's cousins. To this day, I tell you, she doesn't even acknowledge it. It was so traumatic for that child that I only remembered in my 40s after my suicidal crash when I went to do colon therapy, my weekly, my seasonal cleanse. But that was the first time for colon therapy. And it's the therapist who triggered that memory. It was wonderful because it was a total cleansing, fasting and all that stuff. But then another violation happened when I was 10 by her living husband, who left when she went to Grenada, who left a few years later. The thing is here though, you know what this despicable being told me? Your mother not here, so you have to replace her. This is what he said to a 10-year-old. Okay? That changed my life. It changed my trajectory. I didn't even know who I was. Do you know that I discovered that I had a body when I moved to the USA? It didn't occur before. It didn't even enter my memory. I had gained so much weight. When I looked at photos my mother has of me, at that time, it's a totally different human. It was during my sessions with my psychotherapist. Thank God she was a Jungian therapist in Switzerland, that I was able to forgive that man. I had to let it go because that is what triggered my crash. That, and because everything was connected to that. That was the root. And this is what I want to bring to your attention, ladies and gentle birds. I love gentle birds. It reminds me of Thunderbirds, that cartoon that I used to love. You have to forgive. Do you know Rita, my therapist at the time, could not believe, and she even asked me, how could I forgive him? Catherine, how could you forgive him? She was in agony. She even pulled up her legs to her on her chair. She was so horrified. She felt so hurt. She was so empathic. But I had to let it go. I had no choice. If I wanted to be free, and that was in my 40s, I harbored that resentment and anger for 30 odd years. And I hope you all heard what I said. I only saw my physical body 20 years later, a little less than 20 years, because I moved to the US in my late 20s, but that's not the point. I didn't know I had a body. I didn't exist. My physical body didn't exist. Perhaps that's why I love Maya Angelou so much. And two persons have told me that something about me reminds me of her. What a compliment, huh? because she said when she was violated, and she shared that when that happens to you as a child, you become very cynical. You don't trust. You don't know that you don't know, and you become something totally different. You become cynical about the world. I'm paraphrasing, huh? And that is a travesty. Beautiful souls, it is time to let go of the resentment and forgive. It does not matter if the person is dead. It does not matter if that person's soul has already left the body. You are still harboring resentment against someone who is no longer here, who has rotted away in the ground or evaporated in the air, in ashes, if they were cremated. Does that really seem normal to you? It's not. You are locked in the prison, and your key to get out of it is forgiveness. You have to let it go. Sit down, find a quiet time, and write a letter to this person of the pain, the anger, the anguish, the torment, the rage. Let everything out on that paper, on those sheets of paper, because it's going to take a while. Let all the snot, the pus, the blood, smear your guts on those sheets and let it out. And then burn it. You're not writing to say, I forgive you, you know. You're writing to let it go. And this is where I have to add, the path to the power within for women is open. If you are struggling, you are feeling so hurt, you are feeling so caged, locked in, you just cannot find a way out, book a complimentary session. All of the links are down below, in addition to a lot of free offers that are going to support you. This cannot continue if you are to live a life of freedom, security, if you are to feel comfortable in your skin. You must let go of the resentment, the rage, the anger, the torment, the sadness. That is what depression is, by the way. Repressed anger. But the thing is, when you look below the anger, it's sadness. It's sadness. It's all that hurt that you have been repressing because you don't want to deal with it. You pretend, you lock it away, and you're dying inside. Don't do that. Don't do that. Listen to me. If I could forgive unreservedly the man who tried to kill me at midday, I think it was 12:05, if I could forgive him after 2 years of terror, plus all of what I just related, so can you. There is no reason to stay in it and suffer. Suffering is a choice, and so is forgiveness. Namaste, beautiful souls.